Welcome to Us Crazy Christians. I'm your host, William E. Smith. We're going to talk today about ego tripping. For a few years in my life, I kind of kept quiet about my Bible knowledge for two reasons. One was I had noticed that whenever people realized that I knew a lot about the Bible, that I was very smart in the Bible, I noticed that they began to treat me different. It kind of hindered some friendships I had. Sometimes people felt intimidated by me, or they placed me up on a pedestal like I was a pastor or a minister or something, and they couldn't be as open and honest with me. It was just a lot more fake friendships, stuff like that. So I kind of kept it quiet just so I could get closer to people. And then there was a second reason. During this same period of time, I was having struggles in my marriage, and I was really embarrassed about it because I knew all this Bible. I could quote the scriptures like crazy, better than anybody I knew, really. But I couldn't treat my wife right. And so I felt like I was an embarrassment to God or to the call I felt like I had on my life. So I kind of stayed quiet. So for those few years, anybody who was around me in that time didn't really know that I knew that much Bible. I kind of kept it quiet. People could be wrong about me, inaccurate. I just didn't care. I left it alone. I was more seeking help. I was hurting. I was dealing with anxiety and depression and sadness in my marriage, and I didn't, trying to get answers from God, seeking deliverance, going to counseling. So it wasn't the time for me to be stunned. But outside of those few years, from the age of about 12 years old up until a few years ago, when I say a few years, I mean like 2, 3. I would debate and argue with people about the Bible. And I promise you that I was absolutely undefeated. No one, maybe before I was 12, but no one from the age of 12 up until now, honestly, has ever beat me in a biblical debate. Now, I said that publicly on my Facebook page a couple times, and nobody has ever corrected me. I wasn't fearful that somebody gonna say, William, you lying. I wasn't worried about it. Just like I'm saying it publicly on this YouTube channel. Now, on my Facebook, I have several different pastors that used to be my pastor who are still still my friends on Facebook. Several different friends who have now become pastors, ministers, apostles, bishops, deacons, all that kind of stuff. And nobody has come and said, no, William, you lying. Because that is the truth. Now, I'm not saying that there weren't people that were smarter than me in the Bible or wiser than me in the Bible. But I was smart enough to not debate and argue with people who were smarter and wiser than me with the Bible. Even if I disagreed with them, I knew they were smarter than me for most cases. So even if I was right about this, I would approach them with questions, humbly, as to not get embarrassed because I knew they were very intelligent. Now, I'm not saying that to brag. Even though this video is about ego stroking, ego tripping, there is a purpose for this. Just hold on. I want to make sure I get this in perspective for you because I'm going somewhere with this. So it's going to seem like a lot of bragging, but I promise you, I'm not exaggerating when I say this. So I want you to think back to what you were doing when you were 12 years old, when you were 13 years old, when you were 14 years old, when you were sweet 16. When you were 18 years old, what were you doing? Were you going to the prom? Were you caking on the phone with girls or guys? Were you chasing girls? Were you playing basketball, football, baseball, rapping? What were you doing? William E. Smith was reading his Bible. I would wake up in the summertime before the sun came out and listen to radio broadcasts by R.W. Shambach, Joyce Myers, Kenneth Hagin, all at like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning when he used to come on the radio. So it's not even sun out yet, and it's the summertime. And so all that day, throughout the day, I stopped to go get something to eat, to go, unless I was fasting, or go use the bathroom, and I go back to studying and reading my Bible. I read it with them. I do it by myself. I take what they told me and go study it for myself. I had books around me like I was in a cave. It surrounded me like a fortress, and I'd be studying the Hebrew, the Greek, the Aramaic, trying to get into hermeneutics and etymology, etc. And I was doing this 12, 13, 14. So when I debated with somebody, I was going to win. Because usually other people were just going to church or because their mama made them or their daddy made them. I went on my own with no family members going with me. I learned all the books of the Bible at age 7 with no adult supervision or coercing. It was my decision. I studied on my own and went and learned them at 7 years old. And at the time, I didn't know not one kid, nor one adult that knew them all besides myself. Now, I'm sure they were around. I just didn't know them. I didn't know them. But again, I just want you to be in context of where I am. And so in my teens, when you were probably dating, when you were probably chasing boys or girls, playing hopscotch and stuff like that, I was fasting, praying, putting anointing oil on the walls, binding demons in spiritual warfare for my family, for my church, for the city of Detroit. I would walk up to winos when I was 13, 14, 15 and knock their beer bottle out of their hand and preach to them. I got witnesses. People saw me doing this stuff. Go outside the strip clubs in Detroit on 8 Mile and be out there preaching the gospel and waiting for people to come in and out and preaching. And people never, they just were shocked by this young kid. So they let me do it. And people would stop and talk to me, interrupting crack cocaine buys. That's when crack was big back then. So there was a confidence I had in my Bible knowledge. I used to look for people who graduated from Bible college. I was like, oh, for real you did? Let's talk. Because I wanted to see how much you knew. And almost always, I was right. I was the teacher. I was the leader. Now, again, there is a reason for this ego tripping, this ego stroking, whatever. Doing this channel, I've had people call me all kind of things. People have said to me, people I didn't know would call me the Antichrist, the devil, worried about my soul salvation, I'm going to hell, all this kind of stuff because of some of the things I said on my YouTube channel talking about homosexuality. And I used scripture. I didn't give my opinion, I gave the Bible. I also, same thing with my tithe and offering. Just my videos about stop paying tithes and why you shouldn't. And I gave scripture. None of this was 2 William chapter 2. But people were so upset. Some of them didn't even watch the whole video, but just came attacking me. And I would just be calm. Why they calling me the devil and I'm going to hell? And I say, thank you very much for your comment. And just leave it alone. Let the video speak for itself. But I've learned that what really riles me up and I have to wrestle with even today is when people who know me well, who knew me back in the day, when I would crush them in the Bible and anybody they knew. But yet and still, all of a sudden now they've become pastors, they've become deacons, they've become ministers, evangelists, apostles, they done stuff. And so now they, for whatever reason, they looking at me like they need to save William's soul. Like they know more than me and they come to me with they dukes up. And I understand why, because back in the day, I was a gladiator. And so if you came to me weak, I would cut you up. But they come to me hard and my ego immediately, my pride pops up. And I'm ready to destroy them. But I have to admit this fact, that over the years, all of the Jehovah's Witnesses I've battled about the Bible never lost an argument. They would go get an elder, another, it just come, matter of fact, to the point where they stopped coming in my neighborhood. I'm not exaggerating. Mormons, the Black Nation Islam, always wanted to fight because I just rip them down. And most definitely Christians. Out of all my victories, all the beatings I handed out, I can honestly say I never lost one, and I also never won one. I never lost a debate, but I've never won a soul. I never won a Jehovah's Witness over to my side. I never won a Mormon, a Black Nation of Islam, other Christians. They just would be confused, mad, upset, or just stop talking to me about it altogether. And that was okay at the time because I was young, I was immature, and I needed validation. And so by their defeat, their surrender, even their anger, as long as I won, that's all that mattered. I just wanted to win. I just wanted to beat you. And so that pacified my ego. That stroked my ego. That gave me pride. That made me feel like I was something special. Where I could be a teenager, a kid, a young man in my 20s, and just pastors treated me respect when I came in there. Stopped the sermon like, like, there's William E. Smith, minister, I wasn't even a minister, but they wanted me to be. But I just, like, I could be a nerd in my neighborhood or a nerd at school, but when I walked into the church, I was a king. And I remember somebody said to me, they said, I think the reason you changed your YouTube can be so controversial is because the church doesn't hurt you. Dog, I was the leader in the churches. If anything, I handed out the hurt. Church could never hurt me. It's rare that a pastor knew more than me. Now, I did have some pastors who knew more than me. Let me make that clear. Timothy Stokes in Flint, couldn't handle him. Reginald R. Lane in Detroit, couldn't handle him. You know what I'm saying? But I never argued and debated with them either. I was smart enough, which some of my friends need to get smart enough, that even if I disagreed with them, I would humbly go to them and ask them to explain to me this thing that I don't understand. Because I've shown them not about to attack them with my Bible knowledge. I wish some of my friends would get that same wisdom. Because it's the grace of God that I don't rip you to pieces and embarrass you in front of your congregation on social media. Because even the way you come to me, even the scriptures you approach me with are so out of context and so wrong. It is possible, without exaggeration, that look, if I was killing you back when I was 18, 19, 16, you assume now that I'm 50, that I done got dumb, I done got stupid, or you caught up with me? Dog, I would have to die or catch Alzheimer's for a period of years for you to catch up with me. I probably forgot more than you know right now. No offense. And I can tell by your post, by the scriptures you use. I'm like, dog, you haven't grown in 20 years. So I just think that it would be respectful, it would be wise to at least come to me and say, William, I don't agree with that. Help me understand. But to say, you wrong, brother, you going to hell, you done lost your way. Are you out your mind? See, I'm getting all this ego tripping, this ego stroking out the way. Because from this day forward, honestly, it's already started. But I want to make it known publicly. Because it's already started in my own life. I've already let people slide. I just had the preface or the motivation for this video was getting attacked on Facebook a couple days ago by friends I've known over 20 years, and I'm looking at them like, dog, the guy who's your pastor right now couldn't handle me when I was in my teenage years. He's my friend on Facebook. I'm saying this publicly. I love him. We're cool. But if I say something, he never corrects me. Why? You don't want to, and that's your pastor, dog. He over you. For you to come at me, dog, you halfway on a loony bus. So, again, let me get all this ego out the way, because I will never debate the Bible again. I am hanging up my gladiator sword and shield. I am putting away my boxing gloves and my Muay Thai outfit. I am going into farming. I am becoming an agriculturalist. I want to plant seeds and water seeds and allow God to give the increase. So I'm not going to debate. I'm not going to argue. I'm not going to fight and wrestle with people. Because all that does is stroke my ego when I embarrass you or when I beat you. But it never wins you. I'd rather plant a seed that could bring fruit later that could possibly change your life. I want you to be healed. I want you to be happy. I want you to be whole. I don't want to fight you. I've been fighting for many, many years. And I won most of the fights, so I'm not even coming off like I'm tired of getting beat up. Because honestly, I'm trying to be a little bit humble with this, but I'm telling you, I never lost. If I lost, it was probably somewhere before 12. Because since then, I can't remember it. Again, I'm saying it publicly. Somebody can step up and say, oh, well, I beat you such and such a date in 1980 something. You know, good luck. Let's see about that. But anyway, because people have been saying, like the brother who just got attacked the other day, he like, Will's scared to come against me. Will don't want none of this smoke. Will's, oh my God, brother. No, you right. I don't want none of that smoke. So, if you think I'm scared to battle you, if you think I'm scared to debate the scriptures, that's fine, I'll take it. Because I don't even want the character or the way that I'm feeling right now with this arrogance to be a part of my life. As I go into 50, I want there to be a different atmosphere about me. I want to be a lot more quiet, a lot more humble, a lot more caring and compassionate. And I want that to spill out onto everything I do and every person I meet. And so that old William who liked to fight and battle and prove himself. And that was a way of showing my manhood. I wasn't the best fighter, man, but it came to the scriptures, dog. I'm a champ. But how good is that? What did it really benefit me? All those years, the best reward I got was a pride stroking, an ego stroking, making me feel good. But it didn't make the person I beat feel good. And it didn't make them come over to my side. It didn't make them see what I was seeing. It just made them step back, mad, confused. I think I might have chased more people away from God than winning them over to Christ. So there's probably a bunch of people who got church hurt because of me. So I want to love people. I want to plant seeds and let them grow. I want to love and bless. And so, you know, that's my thing. I'm not scared to battle you. I'm scared to wound you. I'm scared to hurt you. I'm scared to make you mad. I'm scared to chase you away from God. I'm scared to continue behaving like I'm in my 20s when I'm nowhere near that. That's what I'm scared of. I'm scared of not growing, not maturing. I'm making it public. I'm making it official, documenting it. I am, from now on, an agriculturalist. I am a planter. I am a farmer. I am a reaper and sower, or a sower and reaper. I don't battle people. I battle weeds. All right, I'm almost embarrassed now about all the ego tripping, but I got it out the way because really, it's gotta die, and I'm done with it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for letting me do my ego tripping. I appreciate you. If you enjoy this, if you want to see more videos like this, do me a favor, hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel. If you're a returning guest and haven't subscribed, what are you waiting for? It's free. Plus, hit the notifications bell to be notified every time we post a new video. I appreciate you. I love you. Until next time, be blessed.